Do you want to know why women have been pushed out of power and society for thousands of years? And why did religion become a tool for men who never wanted women as rivals? You might think you already know the story of Adam and Eve, but I promise, by the end of this video, you'll be shocked. Because there are dark, hidden corners in this story that for centuries have remained untold, whether by design or neglect. Forbidden truths that challenge the very roots of misogyny. It seems that one of the most significant religious narratives has been seriously distorted. But what exactly is this distortion? And who benefited from it? And more importantly, how has it shaped the way we see women and their place alongside men? If you want the answers, stay with me till the end of this video, because you're about to hear truths that have been hidden from humanity for millennia. Before we start, like the video and hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Every like and comment powers us to uncover more astonishing truths. The Inquirer, uncovering the lost truths. We're about to uncover how misogyny began, when, where, and by what cunning deception women were pushed out of power. In traditional patriarchal societies, women were always kept on the sidelines, never allowed to raise their voices or be truly seen. But men, desperate to preserve their dominance and keep women confined to their homes, dragged religion, faith, and even divine law into their web of control. Was this inequality truly divine, or just a centuries-old scheme to keep men in power? Are women truly seen as the source of sin and the downfall of men? To answer this, we need to turn to one of humanity's oldest sacred texts, the Torah. In the book of Genesis, the Torah tells the story of Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit, portraying Eve as the main cause of humanity's expulsion from paradise. The story begins with Adam's loneliness. According to the Torah, God placed Adam in the Garden of Eden, giving him every blessing, except for two trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yet despite all this abundance, Adam felt lonely, so God decided to create a companion for him. But the way Eve was created raises many questions and doubts. The Torah says God cast Adam into a deep sleep, then took one of his ribs and fashioned Eve from that very bone. Setting aside the childlike and unscientific nature of this tale, there are crucial details here that deserve careful attention. These details, without question, reveal the true intent of the authors. It seems that, in Judaic belief, woman is not considered an independent or complete human being. In this view, man is both the cause and the source of woman's creation. Physically, she is considered a part of man's body, and spiritually, her sole purpose is to fill the man's loneliness. Adam himself confirms this in the Torah. This is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. But the story doesn't end there. Remember those two trees Adam was forbidden to eat from? Before Eve came along, they held no temptation for him. But once Eve entered the scene, everything changed. One day, the serpent approached Eve and asked, "Is it true that God forbade you from eating any fruit in the garden?" Eve replied, "No, we may eat from every tree except the two in the middle of the garden." She added, "God said we must not touch them, or we will die." The serpent tempted her, promising that if she ate the fruit, her eyes would be opened, and she would become like God himself. He said, God forbade the tree only because he didn't want you to become like him. Those words made the forbidden tree appear irresistibly tempting to Eve. In the end, she fell into the serpent's trap, and not only did she eat the forbidden fruit herself, but she also persuaded Adam to do the same. The first consequence of eating from the tree of knowledge was the sudden awareness of their own nakedness. And so came the story of the fig leaves, the first attempt to cover their shame. But that was only the beginning. Worse events were yet to unfold. Later that day, God entered the garden and saw Adam and Eve hiding among the trees. When he asked why they were hiding, Adam said, "Because we are naked, and we feared being seen." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the forbidden tree?" Adam immediately replied, "The woman you gave me, she offered me the fruit, and I ate it." Pay close attention to these lines. They don't read like a simple historical account. They clearly reveal the Torah's view of women and the misogynistic mindset of its authors. Then God began to pronounce his curses. The first curse fell upon the serpent. It must crawl on its belly forever, eat dust, and remain an enemy of women for all time. The woman's punishment was pain in childbirth, striking the serpent's head and, most importantly, longing for her husband and submission to him. And Adam, for listening to his wife, was condemned to toil the land for his daily bread. In the end, God expelled them from Eden, sending them back to the very soil from which Adam had been formed. As you can see, the Torah portrays woman as the source of all the suffering that men must endure throughout life. Thus, it's only natural that she must pay for her deception and betrayal. For all eternity, she is destined to bear humiliation and hardship, to atone for the sin she brought upon mankind. But here's the real question. Does the Quran tell the story of creation and the forbidden fruit the same way? Or is the truth something entirely different? If you've enjoyed the story so far, hit the like button. Let more people discover it. And if you've got thoughts or critiques, drop them in the comments below. But what does the Quran actually say about all this? The Quran discusses this story in 3 chapters: Al-Baqarah, Al-Araf, and Taha. But before we dive into the story, there's a subtle linguistic clue we need to notice. As you may know, Arabic verbs and pronouns have 3 forms: singular, plural, and a special form called tathniya, or the dual form, which is used specifically to refer to exactly 2 individuals. And this tathniya, or dual form, is the key to unlocking one of the deepest secrets hidden in the story of Adam and his wife.
فقلنا يا آدم اسكن أنت وزوجك الجنة وكلا منها رغدا حيث شئتما ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين.
The meaning is clear. God commands both of them to live in paradise and eat from whatever they wish, except for one forbidden tree. But there's something remarkable about this verse. In this single short verse, 5 verbs appear. 4 of them are explicitly tathnaya, or dual, while the 5th, by referring to Adam's spouse, zawjuka, automatically functions as dual and conveys the same meaning. Let's break them down. Kula, both of you eat. Haithu shituma, whatever you two wish. La takraba, do not you two approach, and fatakuna, then you two will become. So, unlike the story in the Torah, here Adam and his wife enter paradise together, and God addresses them both equally. So what happens next?
فأزلهما الشيطان عنها فأخرجهما مما كانا فيه.
But Satan caused them both to slip from it and expelled them from the state in which they had been. And in this verse, the same dual pronouns and verbs appear once again, huma and kana. This shows that the Quran, with deliberate precision, attributes the temptation and the fall to both, not just one of them. Nowhere in this version does the Quran blame Eve as the tempter of Adam. But in the next two surahs, Al-A'raf and Taha, these differences become even more striking. In Al-A'raf, the language gets sharper and the emphasis even clearer. And in Surah Taha, things take an even more surprising turn, because there, unlike in the Torah, the finger of blame points toward Adam himself. So don't miss the next part, where we finally uncover the 1,400-year-old secret about the true roots of misogyny in the Abrahamic scriptures.